will fictionalize her reign, muddying fact with distortion. From infancy, she will occupy public and private worlds. In her lifetime, her fame will eclipse that of Augustus, Napoleon, even Hitler. Her image will imprint coins, stamps, and, apparently, the nation's dreams. Her legacy will be less bloody than those of history's great men, less ambitious, without vainglory. The fairy godmother at her cradle grants her long life, earthly riches, an equable disposition, stamina, and humility. She bestows conservative instincts. With age comes wisdom and moral authority. In lesser measure, the baby inherits her mother's steel, her father's temper, caution, and stubbornness. Both parents' deep religious convictions. The baby born by caesarean section in the early hours of the 21st of April 1926, after a day of rain, is baptized 5 weeks later in the private chapel of Buckingham Palace. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary. She is Princess Elizabeth of York. She will become, as she swears at the meeting of her accession council on the 8th of February 1952, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God of Great Britain, Ireland, and the British dominions beyond the seas, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Her names are those of her mother, great-grandmother, and grandmother, a family inheritance as well as her first unknowing encounter with that philosophy of continuity so dear to royalty. George V and Queen Mary are her grandparents. The name of the wicked aunt is Wallis. Wrong on so many counts. If a fairy tale requires a prophecy, in the late spring of 1926, sections of the media unite in their clairvoyance. The silent Pathé News bulletin that records her birth is filmed in black and white. Its promise is simple but startling. Queen of Hearts today, she may one day be Queen of England. The Daily Sketch informs its readers, a possible Queen of England was born yesterday. And so, as we have seen, it comes to pass. Despite the baby's sex, her father's status as a king's second son, and the good health of the uncle who ought to displace both father and daughter, Edward, Prince of Wales, so briefly and dramatically Edward VIII. The national anthem's prayer for her protection is granted. Hers becomes the nation's longest reign. Into a third millennium, she perpetuates a model of monarchy traceable to her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. Let us agree at the outset that Elizabeth II's life story is not a fairy tale. Stripped of the bombast of former centuries, royal rhetoric in Elizabeth's lifetime has celebrated the idea of a reigning family of ordinary people in extraordinary positions. This is the Elizabeth II who, in 1982, told housewives in Sheffield that she too found it difficult to keep her floors clean, who in 1990 requested designer John Anderson to shorten the neckline of a coat given her diminutive stature, who, at a low point in royal fortunes, asked for clemency from press and public, and in 2000 told viewers of her Christmas broadcast that the framework in which I try to lead my life is one available to many millions. Christ's teachings. We do not want the Queen to be one of us, wrote the women's editor of the Reading Evening Post in February 1991, but we do want her to be with us. For 7 decades, despite media intrusiveness on a scale unprecedented in royal history, she has balanced this requirement of accessibility with distance, the white-gloved hand extended in greeting. At the time of the 30th anniversary of her accession, the Daily Mirror pointed out that Elizabeth had lived a life of great privilege, but has never known the privilege of privacy which most of us enjoy. She has suggested she must be seen to be believed. Unlike the widowed Queen Victoria, she has always been more than